Hello, folks. Good morning, good good evening, good afternoon, when and wherever you are. Okay, as you can see by the title of the video today, I'm just going to briefly address the ETIAS system that is coming into place in the Schengen space. Okay, this means this will be a system that will be put in place in all the countries in the EU that are in the Schengen space. So not every single one of them. But now, the first thing you have to understand is that your data in the EU is protected by the respective state. This means, in answering a question of a friend that asked me that and I explained them that unlike in other countries, if your data, the data that you provide to the country where you're entering in via the EU or the EU itself, because that data is then going to be put in a database that is accessible by other EU countries, okay? If something happens to your data, well, of course you can sue. It's as simple as that. All of us here, we have a right to sue the state. Okay? It has happened here often. It happens in Portugal, it happens in Spain, it happens in France, it happens in Germany, it happens all over the bloody continent. Now, if you tell me that in your country you cannot sue the state, or if you sue, nothing comes out of it, then that is your problem. I'm only worried about who enters the space where I and other people live because it's our space. It's like our house. Besides that, other countries have this. The United States has it. And people will complain about every single thing. They will say it will take too long. It's it's this and it's that. And shut up! It's a condition to enter. We decided it. If you don't want to come here, if you don't want to enter in Europe, in the Schengen space in this case, well, my friend, please don't. Because if you are unable to understand something as simple as this, then you are a bloody fool. Because listen to me, if you have, cannot show it with the camera, but I'm holding up my cell phone, okay? Right now, my cell phone is turned on. Uh, it's this one in particular. It doesn't have any internet because I seldom use internet on the on the cell phone. I only use it in a PC or a tablet. Okay, but as long as this is on, they can detect me. If I turn this cell phone on, they can detect me. The only way no one would be able to trace my phone and even remotely access the camera and the microphone of my cell phone to record whatever is happening near it, the only way would be for me to open the cell phone, remove the battery, and remove the card. And you are worried about a system that is about the same as someone photocopying your passport like they did in the past and put it in a little box with your information. And you say, well, no, this is much more than that. This is this and that. Oh, you think what? You think anyone wants to clone you? Use AI and clone you? Do you think anyone has the time for it? Are you that important that you justify that? Are you a millionaire that can pay thousands for data, for someone to steal your data or whatever? Look, you have to put things into perspective and stop being primitive. This is needed. I have an identity ID card I can also have a digital card. I don't have it because I don't need it. But if they tell me, look, from now on, it's all digital, I will have no issues about it. Okay? I have an ID card that has my social security number, my tax number, the number of my health center, of health area, if you will, my identification number, my height, my filiation. This means the name of my parents and the place where I live. Okay? It has all of that. It also has a chip that if I want, I can activate to access other services online instead of using the other the other three ways of doing it that are, for example, using a single a key, an electronic key that is specific for me, personal, okay, by using, for example, to be contacted by email and receive a call to access the service, or to receive an email with the service. Look, I will tell you this. Uh, just yesterday, I needed some medicine. Yesterday, no, sorry, the day before yesterday. Sorry. So not Friday, the day before, and I couldn't access the system because there was something wrong with it. Okay, it had to do with the input of my data by the health center, and they corrected already. Okay, so I went to the health center. I told the girl what was happening, the nurse. She looked at it. She saw what the problem was. She said it's corrected, no problems anymore. I dropped my previous recipe, or how you call it, prescription. Sorry, it's very complicated sometimes because recipe in Portuguese is receita, and that means both. Like for example, a recipe for a cake or a recipe with a number of items that can be, for example, a medical prescription. I drop it. I don't know. I drop it around six, no, a bit before, around 6 hours, 6 in the afternoon. Okay, $1,800 just to annoy the Americans. Military time. Okay, I just dropped it there, and she said, "Well, this is going to the doctor." The doctor, I didn't even need to talk with the doctor because these are regular medication that I have to take. Okay, so it's already in my chart. Everything is in my chart. Everything is there. I don't need to worry about it. I could go into the health center just with my ID card and I could be barefooted in my shorts. Okay, wonders of technology. I call it progression. Okay, if you had dealt with bureaucracy so many times as I have had to do in my life, you would not be so unhappy about ETIAS. But let me just finish up this example so you understand. Around 30 minutes after I left the office, my prescription was already there. I went to the site, I logged in using the means that I use, that I'm not going to say here, of course, and I drop it in my phone. And then because I had the printer nearby, I thought, "Now, I'm going to print one so it will be easier." It's just for me, for being easy, okay? So that I will not forget to go to the pharmacy and pick them up. I went into the pharmacy. I could have just shown my phone, okay, with the QR code, or even or even an email with the written code and all of that for the prescription. They saw it. I picked it up and I paid. If you want to know, for four medicines that are not that cheap, I paid, my part was €4. And this the payment that I do is relative to the level of my pay. The higher the pay, the higher the payments at the pharmacy. The lower the pay, the lower the payments at the pharmacy, That can even be none if you don't have enough income. I thankfully have a job. I work. I am glad for it. It doesn't matter if I like my job or not. I have to do it in order to survive, and that is just it. Okay, a job is a job. Now I do this for fun, rant around in the internet. But as I was saying, this system is first of all a protection for you. You enter in our space, and it's recorded. Imagine that something happens to you during the trip. Imagine. I hope not, but imagine something happens to you during your stay in the space of the Schengen space. Your family members will be able to know that you logged in here and you last had to identify yourself here. Can you imagine what a type of boost that can provide, for example, to a criminal investigation? Imagine this: you enter, I don't know, you enter in France. Okay, you come from the UK, you enter, you register yourselves, you enter in France, and you were supposed to be there for as a normal tourist. So you have 90 days to be there. And but your family members, they knew, I don't know, Bob he should have only stayed for a weekend in I don't know, in Paris, whatever. Okay, whatever. And then you don't come back. Your family members are worried. They go to the police. They report you missing. The British police ask the French government. The French government goes into the ETIAS and says, look, Bob entered here at this time. He then used his credit card here to pay for a ticket in a bus to London. So he used his card here. This is frightening, but this is the truth, okay? This is the future. I know some people might get scared about this, but this is the future. There's nothing we can do about it, okay? Because these systems need to exist. But carry on. I will then explain to you why in Europe you have different guarantees than you have in, for example, in the United States. But let's just end this example so you understand. Now, look, he got in a cab here. He paid with his card, whatever. Or we pinned, we were able to see that his cell phone was here. And then suddenly Bob disappears. The French police can now investigate from that point and see what happened to Bob. And for example, imagine this: Bob got robbed, he was hit in the head, and he's in unconscious out, sorry, in a French hospital. Then they are going to go to all of the hospitals and say, John Doe, he's here, he's in a coma, he's in hospital A, B, and C. They go to see Bob. They check his biometrics, for example, his prints. This is Bob. Presto. The family back in the UK knows where Bob is and what happened to Bob. This is also a protection for you. You are approached by a police officer. You show him that you have done the ETIAS. For example, this is the future. Now it's more of a border entry thing, but you show, for example, you're a Brit. You show, look, officer, I entered here. Here's my passport. Okay, I entered here two days ago, so I still have 88 days to be in the EU or something like that. You understand what I'm trying to say. I'm not giving you exact numbers of days and stays and counting and all of that you have to do after Brexit because your little friend Boris did not and Farage did not want it to do anything about it. Okay, did not want to solve things in some other way. They wanted this, and so they got it. Now, do you understand this? And for us, well, we know that Bob, imagine Bob was a terrorist. We would know that he entered in France in that day at that hour. And he's in our database just like anyone else. This is the first stage, okay? Now, I'm going to show you a video that was published by The Independent. Please go visit the site. And this is for informative motives exclusively. Also, please remember that my videos are not monetized, meaning this video will not provide me with any kind of money from any kind of source. So when I'm using this footage, I can use it, at least here I could use it, as long as I mention the origins and the motives where I'm doing it. Okay? So this is not mine, but let's watch it. Okay? This is that famous British reporter, Simon Calder. He's a bit weird sometimes, or at least in my opinion, but he seems like a nice enough person. Okay? So let's watch him test I think he's in the Czech Republic, and he's going to use the ETIAS for the first time. Okay, let's check it.
Here at Prague Airport Terminal 1, the entry-exit system machines are fully switched on and working. And I'm just going to go through and see if I can get registered. So here's my preferred language, English will do, and place my open passport with the data side facing down in the left-hand slot.
Count a minute.
Let me just do that, and you can see the details actually coming out here. That's remarkable. Are you this person? I'm afraid I am. And I'm just going to hit proceed. Please wait. Do you own a long-term resident permit document from the EU? Sadly, no. I wish I did. Remember to take your passport. Good idea. Always remember to take your passport. Now, first of all, I'm going to get a picture taken. I'm just looking straight into the camera. And how's that go? I'm smiling a bit. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm looking into the camera. No, right. And now I've got to scan my fingerprints. So I'm putting them in and seeing how that goes. Press and hold your reader. Yep, okay. They're kind of being done. They're not particularly impressed with my first.
If you don't know it, right now in most of Europe, the way that we are fingerprinting people is progressively changing for this system because it's much quicker and much cleaner. Okay. So when you go, if you are convicted here, you in the future will be fingered just like this with a digital scanner. Let's continue.
3 fingers, but let's see that. Now put my left hand on. Now I was under the impression it was only going to be the right hand, but you can have as many fingerprints as you want. Let's see if that's all right. Yep, they're reasonably happy with the index finger and the middle finger, not too happy about the others. Maybe they're getting there. Now I've got to say, what is the purpose of your trip? I'm a tourist, a private tourist, very private tourist, hitting the continue button. I've got confirmation of accommodation, yep. I've got a return ticket, yep. And I've got cash, a minimum of €66 a day, or credit or debit card. I can do that. I haven't actually got any cash, but I've certainly got a credit card. So let's see where that takes us. Return date, I'm actually leaving now. Continue. Do I have travel insurance? Yes, but I'm surprised you're asking because it's not a condition that the European Union or the...
let me just interrupt to explain this. Mr. Calder, the reason why they are asking you if you have insurance is because if something happens to you, the EU will know there is an insurance company that needs to be contacted and informed of any kind of trouble that you might have. So they will know and they will question that. But note, please, that they don't even ask you to present it. They just ask you if you have it. And if you have it, you have it. They are not going to pry into your private business. Let's continue.
The Czech government normally asks, but it's interesting. I'm glad I was able to answer all those questions. Thanks for your time. You're all set. Please go to one of the following border control counters in order to perform the check. Well, there we are. It's interesting times, but this is the future, everybody. And I think that probably took me about 3 minutes to go through.
All right. Please remember to check the site and watch them. You can watch this video on YouTube. Just put something like the Simon Caldwell ETIAS system, and it will pop up really quick. Okay. I just showed it here for informative purposes only. Okay, let's continue. As you can see, this was rather quick. He now is going to go just to the border post just to check if everything is all right, just to confirm some data that might be needed, and there he would be quickly processed. And this will be the future. And you are going to tell me, oh well, when there's 50 people to enter or 100 people, 200 people. Well, my friends, it's a border. It's a border. Do you understand? Do you understand what a border is? Is the division between two administrative regions that are completely different from each other. You are entering in a border. If you are entering in a border, then you have to identify yourselves. Now, I said that I was going to talk about the data protection system, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to use that as an example around here in Portugal. Our databases contain all of our information, and all access to those databases is mandatorily monitored by a state agency. Okay, for example, in the Justice Department, the court officers or justice techniques, like they are called now, that work under the that could basically make the case files move on. Okay, the judge issues its orders, the DA issues its orders, and those people, they have to have the enough technical expertise to understand and to know the law and a lot of other stuff. Okay, and to, for example, be in the court, in the courtrooms, okay, and in the hearings and all of that, and all that type of work. So let's call him a mix between a court officer and a bailiff for the Americans, so that, and a clerk, so that the Americans understand this a little better. Okay, it's a clerk and it's a bailiff. They have all of those responsibilities. Okay, and other administrative services that the courts provide to the population. Now, these people, when they are when they are complying with those orders, when they are doing their job, sometimes they have to access a citizen's private information for many reasons. Okay, for to see the addresses to which they can be contacted by. Okay, to see if they have property that can be seized in a court case, for example, a lot civil identification to see if that person is actually that person. Okay, a lot of purposes. This is an example, and the police can also do the same, and the tax office also can do the same, and a couple of more governmental agencies. Now, imagine this. I don't know. Bob is working for in a court and he needs to access some data. I given this example in the other video where I talked about it. When Bob goes into the database and sees the name of that citizen, access his data, so to speak, Bob's name is going to be recorded there. In this case, his number of order number, okay, his number as an employee of the state. It's going to be recorded there. Policeman Joe, he goes into the database, it's going to be recorded there. And then I would suggest to you to take a look into the protection laws of data in the EU. Go see how harsh they can be. Go watch, for example, what happens through a media company that uses your data without your permission, or that tries to sell your data without your permission. And you are going to see why, for example, American companies like Facebook, like Google, like Amazon, like the X why they are so uh, worried about it. Because they want to do to the rest of the world what they were doing and what they are still doing to the Americans, to harvest their data for whatever reasons. I don't care if they want to make your experience a little bit better. I don't care if they are selling it to a government that wants to control you. I don't care about it. What I know is that if it's my data, it's my data. It's not your data. And this is the reason why they had all that clownery of the hearing. Like I talked about this in another video, okay? But I'm reinforcing that again here. It's because this will mean they will have to, in blunt terms, tell the EU, we have the data of Joe. We have the data of Paul. The EU says, okay, you can sell it. You can't give it to anyone else. Every time you want to give, for example, for improving your experience, every time you want to give Bob's or Joe's experience to something like a YouTube algorithm that you want to use or whatever for a better experience online and whatever, you are going to have to ask for their permission. They are going to have to permit you to do that. And if they say, and this is a good one, and if they say they want to be forgotten, it's exactly as I'm saying it. You have the right to be forgotten. For example, you were in Facebook for 20 years. You don't want it anymore. You want to be completely scrapped from it, and you don't want anyone to be have access of even your presence in the platform. And you say so. And Facebook has to do it, or else they get fined, they get prosecuted, they pay hefty fines because the fines are not based on a rough value, for example, 200 euros, whatever. No, they go for the percentages of the profit of the companies. And they don't go for percentages at a European level, they go at a global value. So, for example, imagine 10% of 6 billions, for example. Do you understand? They are doing it again, 20%. And it can culminate with the platform being, like some platforms have already been banned in Europe, to be completely banned. And so you can access it via VPNs or whatever you want to do, but that's your problem. That's not the EU's problem. That's not your government's problem. And again, I am hearing the same moaning I heard after Brexit about the Brits complaining about the bloody ETIAS, about the bloody interest in Europe, and that they cannot do this, they cannot do that, and this and that. And look, you want to know what you are provoking? I'm going to tell you exactly what you are provoking. You are because Brexit was a funny joke. I, I, as I told you, I never laughed about it. I never found it funny, but it's funny for a lot of people. But right now, people are simply annoyed. They want you to shut the hell up, to live with it. You did it. And look, and there are ways to reverse it. And the first step in reversing it is talk about it. And yet you are crowning as your prince in a rotten armor the same guy that was insulting the other Europeans in the parliament, that was talking shit like an idiot, that is an ignorant person, a very ignorant person, Mr. Farage. And you are voting for his party that is filled with racists, with drunks, with pedophiles, yes, with abusers, and you are voting for those people. Do you really have you really thought about it? If look at this face, okay, and look at these hands. I'm working class. I have worked every bloody day of my life. Right now, I'm doing a different job, but I'm a son of a baker. 12 years old, I was working like a man. So I'm not some kind of annoyed middle-aged man sitting in a computer and talking about shit while he pursues young girls online or some shit like that. Okay, or that has absolutely nothing to do except to sit in a chair. Okay, record some videos and grift around. No, I know how hard it is for you to reach the end of a workday with a lousy pay, with your body broken, with your hands so swollen you cannot even close them due to that work, and I have not, and remember this, I stopped doing this job in my late 20s. Okay, I was almost 30. I stopped doing that job and I started doing another job that was not that physical. And it's a job that I'm still doing to this day. I won't talk about it for reasons that I already explained. My and I also learned martial arts and other things that might contribute to this. But to this day, my hands they have so many muscles, they are so heavy that I cannot even close them properly. Okay, when I make a fist, as you can see, this looks like a mobster's hand. And my fingertips, they are completely desensitized. They have no, I have no, I can feel pressure and all of that, but this is a joke, okay? But sometimes I would grab needles and I would put them, when I was young and dumb, I would put them in the tip of my fingers and I would only feel the discomfort of the touch because they are completely burned, by what? By the heat. Because we had bakeries, we had businesses, but we worked on them. My dad, he died working. He died on the road. He died working. Okay? And you are telling me that Mr. Farage knows your plight, that he knows how it is to feel unwelcome, that he knows the plight of the working man. He's a bloody rich boy. He's the kind of guy that guys like you and me used to beat up in school. Right now, I'm a very calm person, but and I was never a bully. But I am not a nice person. I have to say it. I'm not. And it's those people that are telling you about these conspiracy theories of world domination and all of this shit. When it's the conspiracy theories, they are only right about one thing. It's rich people trying to control you. But you have options to do it. You can elect people to do what you want them to do. You can be in places like on the EU where they are in a parliament and they have to discuss everything they are going to do and they have to tell us what they are going to do because we don't want to be slaves to any king. Shout out to the No Kings March. I am proud of you in the USA. We don't want no kings. We don't want no rulers. And in the United Kingdom, I understand your fetish for the royals. I don't understand it, but okay. There are more monarchies in Europe. But you understand what I'm trying to say. And you are going to vote for the same people that cause the problems that you have. Before all of this time passed, I did not believe in most, in some I believed, okay? Even people that I talked often, people that have channels also. But I did not believe in most of the people that said that they did not know what they were voting for, or this was not the Brexit that I voted for. I did not believe one single bloody word of what they said. But right now, seeing the stupidity, seeing the ignorance, seeing the complete and utter lack of common sense, I'm starting to believe in it. And it worries me even more. And it should worry you too. These are the type of people that you tell them that you are selling London Bridge and it's going to have a turnout of a percentage of the people that pass over London Bridge, and they will buy it. They will even hold a parade to call more people to buy the London Bridge. Just like those MAGA idiots that vote in Trump. And he's fucking up their country, and they are still cheering him on. And cheering on those evil bastards that are doing what they are doing in their country. Look, I think this will be the last video I do about this thing of the identification system because it's such a non-subject that I don't even know how to express myself. Okay, I think this is so stupid, so idiotic. You instead of wasting your time, and remember this identification system, it will have it will have a period where it will be valid for, I don't know how many years it is. Okay, they were talking about 2 years, 3 years, whatever. So this man, right now, he did this. Next time when he enters Europe, just by scanning his data, okay, it will be more seamless. It will be more quick. You just have to do it once. So I don't really see what is the problem. I don't understand this paranoia with the data. And you cannot apply your own personal experience of your country if your country is some unsecure place where they don't have any kind of protection laws to protect you from this shit. I don't understand what is your problem with this. Don't apply your experience to the EU. Listen to people. Go to the bloody site. In that site, you will see which countries already have the ES or ETIAS, whatever you want to call it, system operational. Go and see which countries already have it. Go and see which countries are still following a different system. And more important than that, when you enter in the EU, you got to know to the country where you want to go, what are the laws there? You have to understand where you're going, just like any other migrant, worker, tourist, alien, whatever. If right now I went into the UK, I will have to know the paperwork that I needed, okay? I would have to know where could I travel, what could I do, okay? If I had a health problem, how could I access medical services, private, whatever, where would I have to go? If I have a problem, the police, well, I would have to know all of that. Just like going, for example, it's near here to Morocco. This is something that you still don't understand. The UK is outside the Schengen Space. It's outside the EU. And you have to understand it. And you have to come to grips to understand that you will always have paperwork and you will always be subjected to any changes that the EU decides to do. This is the truth. You used to have a place at the dining table. Right now, you don't. And we can do a lot of things to ease things over. For example, Mr. Starmer can finally uh, uh, have the guts, and I think he's growing a bit. I hope I'm right. To apply things like, for example, the only the identification with the ID card for Europeans to enter the UK, they don't need passport. So that, for example, if the UK applies the system of an ID, you see why he is doing it also. Then the same process can be applied to the British citizens to ease the fluctuation of work and tourists. This is what you can do, but you still will not be a member at the table deciding things, because here this is not an authoritarian regime. We have a parliament, we have a commission, we have entities inside of the EU to which we elect people. We, I voted for the parliament elections. Okay, I decided which party I was going to support to put an MP, how you Brits call it, a deputy, in the parliament. And I watched the comment section on this video. Go watch it too and see how ignorant people can be, how stupid people can be, and how low IQ you can be. And you don't want to come here. You don't. You don't. You don't want your data to be scanned or whatever fear you have in your little mind. Then, for God's sake, don't come here. Don't come here. Stay in your little safe corner. Okay, maybe you wear a tinfoil hat or something or some shit like that. Okay, and scream at foreigners from your window, because change is inevitable. Every human society changes. The only thing that we have to focus is to keep our cultures alive. This is why when people call me a left winger and whatever, I tell them to fuck off. I am not a left winger, but I am someone with a bit of common sense and that likes to think for himself. Immigration needs to be controlled. Yes, yes, it does. We need to have a serious debate about the issue of the way we are filling up economical needs. What economic needs do we really need? What type of industry, what type of society we are having? All of that is necessary. But I would never agree with someone that says, like that suspended reform counselor. Okay, go Google it. Okay, go to YouTube, go watch the Daily Blase videos. I think he talked about it, and Regan Lead, he also talked about it. Go and watch those videos. I am not like that guy that says that machine gun volley or cannon volley or whatever the F he said. I'm not that person. If an illegal immigrant arrives at our shores, first of all, we have to talk with that person. We have to know why he did it. We have to listen to that person. If the person has for example, imagine it's a gay person, a gay man or a gay woman that fled the country where he was because his life was under danger. Well, we are going to listen to his story. But imagine it's just someone that is an economic migrant. And in that case, he's sent back, police around here, that person is sent back and told, in order to enter here as a worker, you need this, 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 and this. And if there is and if the jobs that are here are not enough for all of these people, then we cannot take them in. But to put in the same sack, in the same bag, that's so to call it, economic migrants, political refugees, okay, people fleeing war, people fleeing death, destruction, people fleeing hunger, to put all those people in the same bag and just no, 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 no. You know what you look like? You look like angry apes stuck in a bloody tree filled with bananas. And when some hungry monkey comes and asks for a banana, you throw shit at him. To me, this is exactly what you look like, especially the English. Sorry, you look like angry apes stuck in the top of a tree. And then you complain things are more expensive, energy is more expensive, everything is more expensive. Oh, it's the foreigners. No, it's not the incompetent Tories and Mr. Farage and all of those, and a couple of people in Labour too. Let's not forget it. Okay, that gave you Brexit, but you don't remember that now, do you? It's easier. Look, you wanna when there are issues with migrants here, you wanna know who I blame? I don't blame them, or with the immigrants, whatever, with people, with foreigners. I don't blame them. I blame my government, and I punish them at the voting polls. I vote for people that solve the problems. I don't vote for people that talk about the problems. I don't give a fuck if you are talking. You can be talking for hours. If you don't offer solutions, and if then you don't apply those solutions, you are worthless for me. Worthless. I don't care. I don't care that you are a good chap, okay, and that goes around kissing babies, drinking beers with the common folk. You are worthless to me if you don't do your job. Either do your job or fuck off. This is what the French do. This is what the German do. This is what the Spanish do. Right now, for example, here, we are giving them time to solve a couple of issues that we have in health, in housing, and also in the control of the immigration. Immigration, they already issued the laws to control it. So they have already done something right. Healthcare, getting better. Housing, they still have not solved it. They are taking some measures, they still have not solved it. If they don't solve it, next 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 time we go to that poll, they are going to be punished. This is why the left here was punished. And they are also dumbasses because they blame the people that voted in the right wing populists and in the normal social democrats. They are the only normal party here right now. And they still blame them. Instead of blaming themselves of the shit they did, and not listening to the people, because they are not listening to the people. But even the reporters here are telling them that. They are telling them, you have not listened to the people. If the Socialist Party here in Portugal is now the third force in the parliament, behind the Social Democrats and the right-wing populists, if they are the third force, it's because they did some shitty job, just like the extreme left that was completely vaporized in parliament. They have absolutely no real influence. They have the right to speak, they have the right to do all of that, but in political terms, I would say they are shit. They are only worth something when the government needs to pass something over in parliament and has to listen to them. And I love it. I love it when we don't have absolute majorities. Because this way the bastards have to talk amongst themselves. As for the populists, people gave them a chance. If they do shit, if they don't do their job, guess what is going to happen to them? They are going to go to the back of the row again. And meanwhile, the left wingers keep calling them fascists, meaning they are ignoring our own constitution, where any kind of fascist or authoritarian regime is banned. If anyone, for example, was to do what those nice boys in the US Congress did, put a swastika in the American flag, if any of them was to do this, they would, first of all, they would be immediately suspended. They, the person, in this case, the congressperson that was in that office, would not be able to vote in anything, do absolutely anything except being suspended. Then an administrative process from the parliament itself would look into it. And secondly, a criminal process would be initiated too, parallel to that one. And meanwhile, the political credibility of that person would be seriously at risk. I will give you the example of the former PM Costa, that is now in the EU Parliament. The reason why his government fell was because bad policies also, and because of a friend that was in the cabinet and that used his name. The simple suspicion that he was a part of it caused the government to immediately fall. The president was very clear. Merely this suspicion, we are going to have elections. Let's solve this. Then when this government right now entered, again the suspicion. Okay? Let's go to elections. This is why when the Americans and the Brits started berating Macron because the government fell and whatever, I told them, you are dumbasses. Because as long as this happens, it means that democracy is working. And unlike states like the United States, where a government shut down, that simply blocked payment for people and did all that kind of shit, around here, governments continue to function. During these months, this has taken around 6 or 7 months, okay, of this evolution. Not a single hospital stopped working. Not a single public officer stopped receiving their pay or whatever. Nothing. The state continued to work. The borders continued to be monitored. The army was still being paid, not needing to go to the soup kitchen like the American ones were forced. I know you call it something else, but to me it's the soup kitchen. Okay, hmm? Why? Because this is a bloody state, a democratic state, a state with fail-safes and with systems. And for you to try to compare again with the ES, for you to try to compare what we are going to do, quote, quote, with your data to your situation, it's like you want to know what it's like? It's like comparing a Germanic barbarian killing wolves with an axe in Northern Europe and then arrived to Rome and some places already had running water. This is what you are trying to compare. And to deny that, for example, the United States has the same system. It's not the same. It's much more cumbersome. It's much more retarded. Sorry, primitive, let's call it like this. I don't want to offend anyone, especially not retarded people that might be offended to be compared with Americans. Hmm? And oh, I heard some bloody idiot that I think he lives in Europe. He's an American, and he goes around showing places and food and whatever. And I often, sometimes, I watch his videos, and I'm not going to watch his videos anymore. Oh, expect major cues, expect this, expect that. Expect what? Expect to have to follow the procedures of the place in which you want to live or which you want to visit. If I'm right now to China and I wanted to go and I wanted to visit the wall and whatever, I don't know. I wanted to go around and taste food and see the markets, whatever the hell I wanted to do. The Chinese government told me this. In the border, you need to provide your fingerprints, for example. You need to provide your fingerprints, your data, so that we can process it, so that you can enter in the country. You know what I would do? I would give them the data. They would be responsible for it. And then if they did anything wrong with it, I would go to the police here. I would present a complaint, and then you would deal with it, because that is what I vote them for. That is what I pay taxes for. The system works as long as people believe in it and trust in it, and have reasons to believe and trust in it. Just because you don't have reasons to trust in your institutions, and in many cases, let me tell you this, you are just listening to propaganda and conspiracy theories. Okay, that is your problem. If you don't trust, don't go putting your karma, so to speak, on us. Here it's absolutely clear what happens to the data. Here it's absolutely clear the guarantees. So, answering again to that guy, yes, you can sue. Yes, it will have a practical effect. Even reparations if needed. Okay? Well, folks, I'm very sorry for going off in a rant, but this really annoyed me. This one really annoyed me, man. So, I hope at least you understood a bit about this. You understood a bit about what the entry-exit system in the European Union is. I hope you also understand it's just starting. There are some countries that are still not applying, and that this will facilitate the life of everyone. Everyone. The people that visit us, our institutions, our police force, our courts, okay, our monitoring of whoever enters in our country. And this will help everyone. Look, this will help to monitor terrorist activities, criminal activities. It will help everyone. So please stop making this something more than it is. Stop it. You need to live in the real world, not in some kind of dream narrative. Well, again, sorry for the rant. I hope you liked the video. and I hope to catch you all in the next one. If you are in America, stay safe. If you are in the UK, be smart. Okay, you don't want to vote for Labour? Okay, vote in the Greens, for example. Okay, vote in the SNP. Okay, but vote and don't vote Tories and Reform. Those two bastard parties, they buried your country. They buried your country. You are going to reinforce their power. Well, if you do, good luck with that. And I hope you are all ready for a lot of problems. Well, uh, thank you all. Stay safe.